Hello. Today we'll be talking about how to master your mind and achieve your goals. Step 1. Acknowledge your insecurities and your shortcomings. You have to be brutally honest with yourself, and the best way to do that is to whip out a piece of paper or a journal, take out a pencil or a pen, and write everything down that you don't like about yourself or you think you could do better at. For example, let's say you look in the mirror and you're skinny, right? Just write down that you're skinny. You have to be honest with yourself. And the reason why you have to write it physically, not digitally, is because it's always better in terms of memorization of writing it down by hand and not with a computer or a phone or whatever else, okay? You will use these insecurities and shortcomings and you will use these as fuel to achieve your goals and to remind yourself that you can always strive to do better. Step 2. You have to take accountability and you have to be honest at all times to yourself. Never lie to yourself. And the best way to do that is to go to a mirror, take some sticky notes, write down your goals, your dreams, and once again, your insecurities. You're going to tag up your mirror. And you're always going to remind yourself, every time you look in that mirror, you're going to remind yourself of those goals. And even better, write down what you can do to achieve your goals or your dreams or to mend your insecurities. And the reason why it's best to do in the mirror, not digitally, is because a mirror never lies to you. You look in the mirror and you see yourself. If you look on the phone, you can just put on a filter, you look 10 times better, but it's not real. Step 3. Write down the things you don't like to do. For example, this could be waking up early, doing homework, working hard. For me right now, it's cold showers. I'll admit, I don't like the sensation of going into a shower and coming out freezing, but it's the hard work that you have to discipline yourself to do. Make a whole list of this, again, in a journal or on a sticky note, whatever. Now, once you have that long list, and especially find things that you know you should be doing that you don't do. For example, running, right? I don't wake up in the morning early. I'll just wake up whenever I feel like it. I go to sleep at a reasonable time, but I just wake up whenever, especially on a weekday. And I need to train myself that I have to set a set schedule to go to sleep and a set schedule to wake up. Now, once you have that whole big list, pick one of those things and do it right now. Pause the video, and let's say you picked go to the gym. Pause the video, take an hour off, and go to the gym. If you're watching this video, you have time off. If you're watching this video, you can stand up right now, run, or take a car, drive over to the gym and work out. Step 4. You must always work your hardest. You must always overachieve, especially in a negative environment. Let's say you're in school and you have one teacher that you really don't like, right? Like, let's say he's a hard ass. He barely grades your assignments, and because of that, you barely do his work. He won. You must always overachieve. Take take that situation back, and instead of giving up and not doing any work, you always turn everything on time. You always give 100% of effort, and then he'll see that you were working hard, regardless of how he feels about you. Even if that teacher hates you, which I doubt they do, they will see your hard work and your dedication, and that means you will thrive. Again, even if the teacher hates you, which I doubt, they will see your hard work, and that just gives you energy. Let's say you have a boss at work and he really doesn't like you, and yet you still work hard. You always overachieve in your job. You always give all the effort. They will see that. And once again, you have to improve that, because then not that will translate into your day-to-day life. Because let's be honest, whenever you're at home not working, it's much easier than being at school or working. And if you train yourself to work hard in those negative environments, then it'll be 100 times easier to work hard whenever you're at home or whenever you're just lazing about. And you will improve yourself slowly to callous your mind. Next step, visualize success and the obstacles on your path. Let's say you're running a marathon, and halfway through, you have a question in your mind that on its surface feels easy to answer, but whenever you're suffering through hardships, it feels like an impossible question. Why are you here? On the surface, that sounds easy to answer. Well, I'm here to run. But if you're suffering, especially on something you've never done before, that question will seem impossible to answer. You won't have an answer for that question. And let's say you came unprepared, you will probably give up. You will give up on that question because you don't know how to answer. You will give up because you feel tired. Now, take a look at another runner who, before the marathon even started, weeks beforehand, he visualized every single obstacle in his path, every question, every single misstep that could happen. He visualized it, and he visualized it and visualized how he could overcome those obstacles. And another great way to motivate yourself is to visualize the success that comes with overcoming those obstacles. Let's say you do finish that marathon, first place or second or third, and everyone congratulates you. You overcame one of the hardest things you think you would have ever done in your life. And you have to savor that success. You have to relish it, every single moment of that. And you use it as fuel to drive yourself to overcome those obstacles. Next step, remind yourself of your achievements. Once again, let's look at the first runner from the last example. Let's say he's running dangerously low on energy, or so he thinks, and he has trouble thinking of how to answer the question of why am I here. But let's say he digs deep into his mind and he remembers that time that he ran his first mile run, the time that he ran his first 10 miles in a row in the morning. He's going to remember that, and especially the obstacles and the failures that he had to go through to get those achievements. And they're almost going to give you energy in that moment to work hard and keep going. Even if you feel like it's impossible, they'll give you the split second of energy to answer the question, I am here to win this race. And you will overcome and you will overachieve. Next step, overcome your inner dialogue. Once again, the problem with the first the first runner that I mentioned, was that his inner dialogue is screwed. If he's asking himself, why am I here? Why are you doing this? You could be home right now. You could be relaxing. Then he already lost. You must always look at your dialogue, your inner dialogue in your head, and you must almost sharpen it into whatever you want. You must sharpen it into, instead of being questioned, you must have statements in your mind. I can do this. I will do this. And after that, you will have almost no struggle continuing on that race because you know in your mind you will disappoint yourself if you don't complete the race. Next step, schedule your day so you understand when you can work and why you work. Most people nowadays don't schedule anything. They go through their 9 to 5 job, they go home, play video games all day, and go to sleep and continue the next day the same. They're wage slaves. They just wait until the weekends. Like, they don't schedule any work in. Now, think about that. That first week that you do the same thing, the bad habits every day, Schedule that in a week and look at all the time that you waste. I can bet you will probably have at least 4 hours you could probably be doing in order to work. And I don't mean work as in your job that you hate. I mean work as in going to the gym, running, meditating, reading. All of these things you could be doing, you could schedule in. After that first week, the second week, you must optimize your schedule. Let's say you completely stop playing video games so you have the most time, and after work, instead of playing video games, you instead, first thing you do, you go to the gym, work out for an hour. Then you get home, shower, and then you read a book, you eat dinner. All that time that you spend playing video games, you can instead be working and continuing your goals. And in that third week, you will have realized that you can probably even you can increase the efficiency of that task you are doing. So let's say you were working out in an hour, but you realize that you probably don't need to rest as much, so you could probably shave off about 10 minutes off of it. And then that 10 minutes you can spend on reading. Or let's say whenever you eat dinner, you spend 45 minutes, but in reality, you're just watching some show or some video in the background. You could turn them off and you can eat much faster to shave off another 15 minutes. Those minutes you could spend reading, you could spend at sleep. So many people nowadays are sleep deprived. And you could turn that time into energy for the next day. Next step, sustain your greatness. For example, let's say you've been going to the gym for several years by then, and you have an amazing physique. You look great. You have muscles everywhere, right? But let's say you achieve that and you stop going to the gym, right? And that sounds dumb, right? But think about the thought process some people have. Well, I already achieved the goal, so I don't have to work anymore. And that's the number one place where most people mess up. They become complacent in their lives. They achieve one goal, even if it's a huge goal. Let's say they make their first $100,000 in a year, right? But they'll become complacent, keep going instead of furthering their career or their gym, like progress. They'll stay complacent. They will not work as hard as they really could. You must always sustain greatness because the previous steps I've told you how to achieve that greatness, and then this step shows you how to sustain it. You must always remind yourself that you can keep working harder, and not only will you sustain that greatness, you will achieve bigger greatness. Next step, write about your failure. Now, undoubtedly, during your progress, during your journey, you will achieve, well, not achieve, you will have failure. Whether it be you you play video games whenever you said you would quit, or let's say you said you would go on a 5 mile run, but you only go through two before you can't go anymore. Write about those times, and especially think about the good things that happened because of it. Let's say during that 5 mile run you only get hit two. So you keep beating yourself up that day, and the very next day you run and you achieve that easily. Now, if you had just achieved the 5 mile run in the first place, sure, you wouldn't have had that failure, but you also wouldn't have that drive to push for the next success. And always remember that failure is the first step to greatness and success. Final step. Let's say you've been achieving your goals, you've been achieving greatness, but some people have been putting you down because of it. Let's say you want to go to the gym, but some of your friends are like, oh no, you don't need to go to the gym. In reality, they're just self projecting on you. They think that they don't need it, and instead, they want you to get down to their level. The number one question I need you to tell them: what if? What if you become a millionaire? What if you become amazing? You look amazing. What if you become a professional runner? That question should fuel you no matter what negativity you come across. What if? If you followed all of those steps, especially in order, you will immediately see greater clarity, and your goals that seem so far off then, after this video, should seem easy to achieve. And that is really all I have for you. Remember, go do it.